Welcome to another episode of Alliance Chamber Southwest Louisiana Insider. I'm Eric Cormier and serve as the agency's Vice President of Policy and Strategic Development. Today, we're talking about something that many chamber members and small business owners are thinking about, and that is the federal response to COVID-19. With us today as our guest is Mr. Russell Pawlowski, who is the Community Bank President at BancorpSouth's office here in Lake Charles. How you doing, Mr. Pawlowski?
I'm doing great, Eric. Thank you so much for having me. Hope you're doing well.
We're doing good. So how's the staff doing? How's the workload?
I can tell you, it's been a test. We're working them hard. I mean, I'll be honest with you. We're putting in some long hours. We worked Easter weekend. We're just really trying to serve the community and the small businesses because without them, we don't have a community. We all know that. So we're all putting in our best foot forward. I'm not going to lie to you. We're tired. I mean, you can see my hair. I haven't had a haircut in a while. Haven't shaved this morning, but I was up at the office at 6 and just left just so I could get on this call, and I'll be back there tomorrow at 6. So we're putting our best foot forward and really trying to help Southwest Louisiana.
Wonderful. Well, here's the deal. A lot of people are talking about these business loans and how to operate, and I think a lot of people are learning that local banks and dealing with local bankers is important. So from your vantage point, how is the process? What is the process like for folks to get a hold to these business loans?
I think the process is actually fairly simple. I think that small business owners, I was once a small business owner. I've owned several small businesses. And, there's a lot of things that small business owners are good at what they do, like a restaurateur or a contractor. They're very good electrical contractors. But what they don't know is maybe some of the business aspects of understanding what a 940 is and 941s and a W-3 and all of this jargon that us bankers know and the CPAs know. So what I've really told a lot of our customers and people that have come to me for advice is, look, seek out to your CPA. Seek out to your banker. They are your friend. They will help you through this. But I will say this, that time is of the essence. We are in round 2. There may be a round 3. We don't know. But I can see that the impact, the emotional impact, I will tell you, it's been a roller coaster for my family and I. My wife, she told me, she says, I just don't understand why you're on the phone till 7, 8, 9, 10 o'clock at night. And I said, because the community needs us right now and they have questions and they have concerns. And it may be one of my friends or somebody I go to church with that may be getting laid off tomorrow because the company has no more money. This roadmap of what they've done, the essential simplicity of the PPP program is really an option for all companies that pay payroll, that pay employees for an 8-week period that could potentially be forgiven, most of it, if not all. And it absolutely will allow them to bring people back to work, to open up their doors and let the government pay for that, rather than put everybody on unemployment. So this is a jump start. I think this is a great start. I think it's a great program. I can see where small businesses may get a little concerned that the money, it doesn't work for me, or, I went to my bank and it's a big bank and we don't know where things are. I will say that the smaller community banks do have a little bit of an advantage because they can spend the time with you. You're talking to a real person. Nothing wrong with the big banks. There's not. They have a streamlined approach, and I get that. But I will say that in times of need, those tender moments when you're talking to a business owner, as I have all week, I just did an application this morning, and it was for $11,300 and something a mom and pop operation. Without that money, they're going to have to close. They will not survive. They won't pay their house mortgage. They won't be able to feed their children. It's a big deal. This is not small business. It's not their fault. They're adhering to what the government put in place with the CDC, following the guidelines, following the rules, but they shouldn't have to close their doors. And that's what this PPP program is all about. So we're trying to help as many people as we possibly can.
So you said the process is simple. Just in a real roundabout way, how does it work?
Okay, so in a roundabout way, what happens is there's a calculation. It's not a very difficult calculation. Okay, it is based on your 940 gross wages for the year. The employer is allowed to also add health insurance that they pay, the health insurance portion from the employer, the 401k, and any SUTA taxes. Okay, so they add that up. They divide it, the annual, they divide it by 12. They multiply that by 2.5 times. That is the amount that you're applicable for the PPP program. Now, the interesting thing is that monies can be utilized for things as rents, leases, interest payments, utilities, and payroll. Now, a majority of it has to be used for payroll. So 75% of those funds have to be used for payroll. Otherwise, you could be looking at a position where you will not have it all forgiven. It is a loan. It is the SBA. But essentially, it is not a very difficult. So if I had to suggest to small business customers what to do next, there is on SBA.gov, there is a form. It is the 2483 form. I would tell them to complete that form without the calculation, sign it, initial it, attest it, ask their CPA for their 940 or all 4 quarters of their 941s, and possibly if they have a payroll register of something that they could get. And really, that's about it. I mean, it's not that difficult. I think people are overthinking this process. And it's like I said, it's not that hard.
Now, once they go through that process, and if they get approval, those funds, that check is cut through the bank or from SBA.
No, exactly. So all banks have the capital and the capacity to fund this, and then they get reimbursed by the government. Our funding, we just funded over $650 million bank-wide Wednesday. So that's across 8 states. So proud to say that we funded over $16 million here in Southwest Louisiana to small business customers, but that comes out of our pocket, and then we get reimbursed by the government.
So at the end of the day, folks need to have a few business records, and they can find those business records by talking to you, their accountant, or going to SBA to find out what that process is. But it's records that they should have already as business folks.
Absolutely. If you have employees, you have those records. It's not that difficult. I've talked to an array of accountants over the last 2 weeks. We're all figuring this out together. We're all collaborating together, all business presidents, business relationship managers. We're all talking amongst ourselves, so that we can put our best foot forward and help those in need. This is not a competition to see who can do the most. That's not it at all. This is a competition to say, how can we help our fellow man, our fellow Southwest Louisiana member, small business person.
So again, for those members of the chamber, part of the chamber family, and also part of our Southwest Louisiana business family, they need to reach out to their bankers, local bankers or big bank, but find a banker, talk to their accountants or money managers or anybody that's involved in these processes. But at the end of the day, it's a doable deal from your vantage point.
Oh, absolutely. It is a doable deal. Everybody in all banks have been trained on how to do this process. Depending on the bank, some have electronic portals, so it's a little bit quicker process. Some do not, but all banks have the capacity to do this and understand the program. The thing is that's key, go to your local bank because they know you. And from the banking perspective, we have certain guidelines from BSA, Bank Secrecy Act, and things that we have to know about our customer before we input it. So that could potentially delay the process.
And how quick is the turnaround on these? Once I apply, about how quick before I know if I got something?
Well, when we first started, it was a little slower. It's been a little streamlined. We've had approvals come. In fact, I had a call last Wednesday night, and I had a customer come in and say, look, I really need this money. I've got a lot of employees. I don't want to shut down. What do I need to do? Had a package together. We looked through it. I stayed there till about 7 o'clock. I inputted it in the computer, and he called me at 8:30, and he says, you're not going to believe this. And I said, what? He said, I'm looking at something that says DocuSign, review your documents. What does that mean? I said, that means you're approved. The loan is done. I said, you can continue your business now. He says, you're kidding me. I said, no, I'm not kidding you. I said, that's how easy it can happen.
Great. Well, Mr. Pawlowski, thank you so much for your time. This is the type of information that we want to get out to the public and our business community and our chamber family. Anything else you want to add before we close?
No, I would just employ all small businesses. I mean, this is a gift. I mean, it really, truly is. If you don't understand it, that's okay. Get with your accountant. They do understand it. Get with your banker. They do understand it. This is something that will help you, because I know people are struggling. I hear it every single day. It's funny. I looked at emails. I was trying to find an email I sent to myself yesterday, and I looked, and it was 247 emails later just to get to that email. Right. So we're processing a lot of information. We're talking to as many folks as we possibly can. But I will tell you that the money will run out again. I don't think there's any guarantee that there'll be another stimulus package behind it. So I would employ you, if you haven't done so, please, tomorrow morning, get up, reach out to your CPAs, get a package to your bank ASAP.
Thank you. All righty then. This has been another episode of Alliance Chamber Southwest Louisiana Insider. Thank you, Mr. Pawlowski, for your time.
Eric, thank you so much, and good luck, everybody.
All right. Until again, we talk to each other. We'll have more information for you. Stay tuned to our Facebook channels and all our other social media channels. You have a great time and a great evening.